Welcome back to Jedi Enclave. I am Daniel.
I am Chris.
And we are two lonely nerds trying to find our way in the universe. And today we're going to talk about some more Star Wars rumors. But these rumors come from things that we know were a thing at one point, right?
Yeah.
Now, this one is... Oh, let me also say that the last several weeks, there have been like these really big Star Wars news things that have kind of come out. And they're like, oh... Colin Trevorrow wrote this thing, and here's the fucking art for it and everything. And they're all like, they all end up being legit. This is another one of those legit things.
Oh, cool.
A like several minute piece of test footage from Star Wars Underworld was leaked.
Refresh my memory. What exactly is this?
Will I refresh you? Because it was going to be a big thing. It was going to be huge. This is. Well, let me just get into it. So. Star Wars Underworld was the working title of a proposed live-action Star Wars show.
Okay.
Now, this is before Mandalorian, before the Obi-Wan show. This was announced back in 2005.
Okay, this is way back.
It was whatever Star Wars Celebration, like Star Wars Celebration 3 or whatever, before they had I don't know.
Yeah.
George Lucas himself announced it. And it's supposed to it was going to be set between Episode 3 and Episode 4. And they went through a variety of writers. 50 scripts were written, which was going to amount to 50 hours worth. Like, they wrote 50 episodes.
Is this like 50 different pilots or 50 like seasons?
Yeah.
Oh,
like they wrote the whole goddamn thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So they put it on hold.
Do we know what the show was supposed to be about?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna read it. Don't worry.
Okay.
I was like, I didn't start reading into this until, like I saw the test footage, and I started reading about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like this really was almost a thing. So, 2010, I think they announced that they were putting it on hold because of budgetary constraints, which kind of made me laugh because George Lucas is filthy rich.
Yeah.
It's like, so did Lucasfilm not have enough money, or did you, or you were like, I'm not paying for any of this anymore?
It had to be an issue of someone in the chain of command saying, George, you've probably thrown enough money into this thing.
Yeah, maybe.
It hasn't gotten off the ground yet.
So it was said to be set on Coruscant. I'm going to read you some of the Wikipedia here. Said to be set primarily in the Coruscant Underworld.
That's the title.
Yeah, it is during the period of the Galactic Empire and their rise to ultimate power throughout the galaxy. And we already talked about how it was announced and everything. A lot of the issues from the films are connected, and you won't necessarily see a lot of people that are connected, said Rick McCallum. Somebody, it doesn't matter. So someone said a thing.
Yes.
And they were kind of, during this interview, Rick McCallum, the guy that produced all the prequel Star Wars movies, gave some facts about it. And was like, okay, so it's going to be between episode 3 and 4. They're going to be a lot of characters. You're going to get to see a lot about how the Star Wars universe works. The Emperor and Vader will be known about, but you will not see them in the show, and you won't see any Jedi.
Okay.
Now, what does that sound like?
That sounds an awful lot like Solo.
Everything they've done, literally almost everything they've done, except for the main, the main line trilogy films, like the fact that Mandalorian didn't have any Jedi in it, and Solo and Rogue One, except for Vader at the end. It was originally supposed to be just no lightsabers, just a war story, right?
Yeah.
He said it's going to be much darker, grittier, and much more character-based. Think about Bounty Hunter. That's all I can tell you.
That also reminds me of Mandalorian.
Yeah. He also called it Deadwood in Space. I don't know what the fuck Deadwood is.
I believe it's some sort of Western.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
Oh. Well, that also kind of brings it back to Mandalorian as well.
If I'm remembering right, Deadwood was one of those old prestige television series that was like, it was centered around this old Western town of presumably Deadwood. I don't remember ever seeing it at all, but from various marketing things, that's what I remember.
Huh. Also said it was Empire on steroids and compared it to the Godfather of Star Wars. Greasy, seamy underbelly of Star Wars is where it was going to take place. Now, have you seen the footage?
I have not.
I'm probably going to put in some shots of it going like throughout our talk here. It's fully realized. The effects are in a finished state. The temp track they used was music from the movies. And it's a scene about a rebellion spy who is trying to get some plans smuggled somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, you know what they always do. They're going to shoot a thing into the thing and,
So this is one scene is all that we have?
Yeah, one scene, like a sequence in a scene, really.
Okay.
So this like seedy rebellion type lands in their speeder, and it's in now all of a sudden they're on the underworld of Coruscant, where there are like bunch of shops and stuff. Like it looks a whole bunch like Blade Runner.
Okay.
And everything, all the CG is done and everything, and the character comes in contact with like a group of stormtroopers, and then there's a fight, and then her speeder zaps the stormtroopers. It's like a lot of stuff, but like the whole point of it was to see if they can translate Star Wars as a big universe cinematic thing into a small screen, more intimate thing.
Yeah.
And they just kind of like threw it out. They had some stuff here also is kind of interesting from Dan Wasson, who is the project leader for the Wii version of Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, which I did not know there was a Wii version of that game.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
I wonder if it had motion controls. Like you need to waggle the Wiimote to bring the Star Destroyer down.
Yeah. God, that was the most annoying part of that entire game. That is such a poorly designed... You've played it, I presume.
A little bit.
Did you make it that far?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's fucking annoying because you have to pull the Star Destroyer, but it moves just like centimeter by centimeter.
You've told me about this, and then like TIE fighters come in and start shooting, and you have to kill them. Then
But
it's going back up the whole time.
It is really poorly designed, but otherwise the game is actually kind of fun. So the project leader for that said the TV series may contain elements from the overall Star Wars: The Force Unleashed multimedia project. And then someone else they were talking about their Kickstarter campaign that was unrelated, and he said that this is Steven Skaya, said that he had been a writer for the series and was involved in several story elements, including Lando Calrissian losing the Millennium Falcon to Han Solo and Chewbacca's first meeting, as well as an action scene with Boba Fett. Now, there was some pretty interesting stuff about like some of the character info, which I'm more or less going by the Wikipedia entry here.
Okay.
So the series was expected to feature minor characters from both films and the expanded universe, with possible cameos by some of the main characters. And we talked about how like they like Vader and Emperor were going to be like no, because like of course everyone's going to know them.
Yeah.
It's like Trump pretty much.
But they're in the background.
Yeah,
they're not the focus.
You're right. It's not about them. Hold on, just a moment. I had this. There was a spot I was going to read from this. Man, it's a good thing we're not doing this live.
Yeah, that'd be embarrassing.
Yeah. It was also supposed to contain some stuff about Quinlan Voss, who is a character that you might know.
He's a Jedi.
He's like a bad boy Jedi.
Okay.
So he was going to be in it. It looks like from what I can tell, they had a lot of stuff going on, and it was going to be this massive project that just got iced.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this isn't coming up because it doesn't mean they're reviving it or anything. Though it sounds like they've got 50 episodes ready to go on this show if they wanted to do it.
But they were 50 George Lucas overseen and produced episodes. I don't know how interested Disney is necessarily.
They didn't say so much about. They mentioned that there were a lot of writers involved, but they didn't exactly say who they were. So it could have been that there was some really neat, like, written stuff.
Oh, I'm not dismissing the possibility that there's some really good stuff in there. I'm just saying that
that's probably going to cost extra.
That, and also Disney has shown reluctance to use material that already existed before the sale.
Yeah.
So I think they might look at those scripts for some possible ideas, but I don't think they're going to be adapting any of them wholesale.
Yeah. I think more or less they're probably, like you said, disinterested in it. It's a really neat thing, though, and I think the big story here is that the test footage leaked, and it's actually really cool. And it kind of it's a bit of a you know how the Blair Witch Project was like this kind of like raw, untested format, and then it kind of like gave way to Paranormal Activity and all these like found footage things.
There's this joke someone made about how the Blair Witch Project had a $40 million budget, which means that someone's walking around with $39 million in their pocket.
Yeah, I know. It is that's an entirely different conversation, but you're right. I feel like what I saw was like this raw, unrefined Mandalorian or Obi-Wan or whatever they're working on now. So what I suspect happened was they bought Disney. They looked at all of what they bought. They're like, okay, what'd we get? 50 episodes of this TV series. Well, George Lucas had something to do with this, so we're not going to do that. But we're going to make our own TV series because we don't have budgetary constraints.
Make our own TV series with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, and we're Disney, so we have all the money in the world, and we literally own probably 3/4 of the United States.
Probably.
And we can afford to do it. So let us know what you think. If you've seen the footage, like I said, I'm going to be kind of dropping little parts of it in here. And I'm interested to know what you guys think about it. The thing that really gets me is that the effects are like done. It's like someone worked really hard on it.
Well, that's usually the last thing you put in, right?
Yes.
Aside from
the music.
The music,
yeah. If you're new around here, we run a Facebook page called Jedi Enclave that you should check out. Also, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Comment. We like to talk to you guys about Star Wars, about shit like this, like random test footage and stuff. And make sure you follow our podcast as well. We kind of have like longer, unscripted shenanigans.
It's just us blathering for longer.
Yeah, it's going to be on SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And we will see you on the next video.